Hello everyone, this is Joanna the Medium and your intuitive coach. Thank you so much for coming back. And for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome you with open arms, and I hope you find something here just like the other subscribers have found something they enjoy. Month of December, almost said November. Month of December, interesting times. One of the things that is different about this month's reading is I was asked by Spirit to do a completely different format than I have done up until this point. And what I have done, I have divided the reading into two separate parts. There's a general reading, which I have always done, and it's very similar to the one I've done in November. But the other part is about Spirit wanted me to channel more messages, and they wanted me to focus more on what you need to focus with regards to your energies, particularly in December, but also to provide information with regards to the key learning opportunities that you are looking at gaining as you go through this path. So this is not going to be for everyone. Not everyone finds desire to know these things, but for those of you who are looking to deeply connect and who are looking for deeper meaning into what's going on in your life, more than just, you know, when am I going to get a job or when am I going to meet somebody, but more with regards to what am I learning here? What is my soul wanting to learn? For those of you who are hungry for that information, I will have those videos, and the information on how to get those will be down below for you in the show more section. And without further ado, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, for liking, for subscribing, and for sharing your videos. Without you, I wouldn't do this. And as you can tell, I've reached over 40,000 subscribers, which is completely out of this world for me, because this is not what I was expecting when I was gently told by Spirit to put up my channel, to start one. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I think that's all I have. So let's just go on with individual readings. And of course, if doesn't apply to you, then listen to your rising sign and your moon sign. And if none makes sense to you, listen to it towards the end of the month, because they almost always make perfect sense. And if not, it may not be just the right message for you this month. But without further ado, let's get going with each individual signs. See you soon. Hello, beautiful Aries. This is going to be your reading for the month of December 2017. Your first part of the reading. Let me go through the channeled message first. You have a very interesting reading. Sounds like for many of you, it is very much financially connected or work connected. There's a lot of finances here going on. So obviously this can be a relationship, but there's a lot of work connection here for many of you. So let's start with my channeled messages. One of the things that I've noticed right away is that there's going to be a new beginning with regards to the way you think, or you're going to have an epiphany, a new idea, a new concept, new idea, new perception about something. And it was shown to me in my mind as Ace of Swords. So that's for some of you. I actually wrote thought or idea, a revelation. This idea, thought, or revelation is going to cause you to feel like you had a light bulb moment. So the light goes on in your mind and you go, oh my God, now I understand perfectly everything that has been going on. So there's a lot of self-realizations, I want to say, in December, and self-evaluation. And what a good time to do that before we end this year and start a new year. So taking a bit of a mental and emotional inventory of your life and where you're at is actually not a bad idea. So it's interesting that it's coming up for you. I also heard the word conclusions. So many of you will conclude certain things about certain situations in your life and about certain people in your life. And what does this mean? It means that for some of you, you will choose to part ways with a certain relationship or set of circumstances. And this can be across the board, including things like relationship, friendships, relationships of any kind. and also work situations. What did I write here? What I wrote here, lack mentality, but that's something that is coming up in the second portion of the reading. There's a lot of focus here on what you're needing to learn at this point. The other thing I saw, actually they told me, severe anxiety and control issues. So for some of you, you may have a light bulb moment when you realize why you have control issues and hence why you may have severe anxiety. For some of you, you might be dealing with some anxiety around the month of December, and this may be brought on by you feeling like you're not in control. So there's some, or you're not able to control something. There's some component here feeling like you're out of control. It doesn't have to be spinning in some big, tremendous way in your life. It could be anything from going shopping and running into a store and the thing that you wanted was just sold out. And that may trigger an anxiety because you need something real for this. You need something like this for a specific person in your life that's important to you. But that is coming up for some of you. Let's see. Deciding on who goes first. Okay. The image I had was two people trying to decide which one goes first. So this can be plugged into any situation in one's life. But it sounds to me like there is a bit of a competition and you will be deciding who goes first. It could be as simple as who goes first to the dentist, who goes first to try something out, who goes first. Oh God, there's a gazillion things I could come up with. But the sentence, deciding on who goes first, was shown to me. So it'll be interesting to see what that transpires in your life. And I saw the number 5. Which means there are changes upon you. They're not bad changes, but for some of you, there's significant changes. And sure, if you're looking to move on from something or conclude certain situations, then yes, that will entail some changes in your life. The other thing I kept seeing is that you are slowly going to become you slowly will become less like feeling like you are stuck, which will also produce the feeling like something heavy is being lifted off your shoulder. So I saw that very clearly, and hopefully most of you will experience this in some way, shape, or form. I added all the numbers, and it comes to number 22 and also the number 4. So number 4 is about brand new foundations, putting forth brand new foundations and structures that will help you going forward in a much more positive way. The combination of the twos, which is decisions, and you do have actually 2 of Pentacles here, signifies that you will have choices or decisions that will need to be made in a very short while. Could be December, as early as December, or January, or part of January. And although I feel most of this would be work related, some of this can signify a relation to a personal life, so it's not work relating. So it tells me that whatever decisions you will be making, how you make those decisions, they will fundamentally change the structures you're putting forward for your future. And I hear financially, so it may be that you are choosing to participate in a registered savings plan in a different way. That's what just came to me. It's a very random thing. You may choose to allocate your money differently from your paycheck. You may choose to take on certain jobs and you choose not to take some other jobs. You may choose to take a different vacation, okay, or vocation, both, and move in a different direction. With vacation, you may choose to go something completely different than when you've gone before. So it could be, there's many things, but the decisions will be fundamental for you going forward, particularly when it comes to New Year, and this has to do with stability. So the cards that represent what you are leaving behind, it's actually interesting because one of the cards you have is 10 of Pentacles. And that's a great card because it basically signifies you have everything that you need when it comes to safety and security in your finances. So it looks like you're in a good place. Just because it's in a position what you're leaving behind doesn't mean that it's not going to continue, but it feels like you're coming from a good place. At the same time, another card came on top of it, which a little bit surprised me a little bit. And the card is Knight of Swords. So in reverse. So what this is telling me is that there's a couple of things that I'm being shown. Some of you may have dealt with a male individual, maybe younger than you, whose thoughts are all over the place and they're not very coherent when it comes to analytical thinking. Somebody who is very staggered, not mentally stable, and I don't mean sick, but I just mean, or could be, but someone who is mentally not very disciplined. The other aspect of the message is that it is you that, despite the fact that financially you are pretty good and everything is okay and your finances are taken care of, your thoughts are all over the place and you're very scattered. So it could be somebody else, but it could be you. But it is in a position of the past, which means that energy is slowly leaving you. In the energy of now, you have two cards that came up again. The first one is Page of Cups in reverse, and the second one is Three of Swords in reverse. So there's a page here. We had a knight, now we have a page. And what this is telling me is that you are ready to let go of some emotional pain that happened when you were young. I want to say a teenager, age of 17 comes up and around there. Or the heartache that you have had, or the emotional pain has made you someone who is emotionally not very stable. And I don't mean to say not stable as in not well, but an anxiety did come up and control did come up. So it feels to me like in what's happening in December and shortly thereafter, you are going to be healing a lot of old wounds pertaining to your childhood, but most importantly, to your teenage years. So there might be something in your past, we all have it, where you got really hurt. And it could be gazillion ways that we get hurt. But it sounds like you will be letting go of those things. And maybe that's the light bulb moment that you will have, and all of a sudden that will allow you to completely change your perspective and your perception. In the position of future, you have the card of Seven of Cups or Eight of Cups. And it's telling me that you are emotionally leaving something behind. Now, if this is the pain that you are leaving behind, that is fantastic. Some of you may be leaving something behind, and it might be a person, it might be a situation or a set of circumstances for sure. But it sounds to me like letting go and leaving something behind pertains a lot to the past. And I feel like many of you are ready to take on a new perception of yourself, which will allow you to achieve your goal of realization, self-realization. So what does that really mean? It feels that by releasing some of those emotional triggers or pains, you will see yourself differently, therefore you will take on the world differently. So if you start all of a sudden letting go of things that connect to your self-worth, for example, as a basic example, and you start feeling stronger, then naturally when you start feeling stronger and more powerful, you will tackle things you normally wouldn't because you didn't think you could do it. So there is, and I hear the word abundance, a lot of it has to do with money. Now, abundance is not just money, absolutely not, but abundance can, to many people, signify money. So there is abundance. Okay, this is not just money, it's everything. And remember we talked about the mentality of lack, and that's actually one of the lessons here, and that will be in the second part of the video. You are letting go of emotional struggles that have contributed to you having lack mentality. There's another sign that got this, so you may want to look at the other signs and see if it's the same, if it's your rising sign or your moon sign, and it repeats, then the message is, it's confirmation. So very good. Letting go of things that no longer serve you. Choices and decisions. What is driving all of this? you've got Two of Pentacles. And I heard the word priorities. You're either shifting your priorities, you are changing your priorities, you are changing the outlook on your life, and as a result, you will make significant changes in your personal physical life in this 3D world. But that's what's driving this. And he's saying to me, it is the shift of perception, the light bulb that went on, or that is going to go on. This shift of perception will enable you to go further than you had ever thought possible. And he's saying to me, many of you that this pertains to have sold yourself short for many, many years. Some of this is connecting to your father or a father figure. Obviously, it's not going to be with everyone, but there is a connection here to a father, and I hear the letter J, but I also heard Joe. So it could be Joseph, Josephine, could be a mother as well. But that emotional hook is still there. So whatever situation you are in, it would be advisable for you to look at your life and examine your belief system and notice if there are any inconsistencies with what you say you believe and what experiences are in front of you. Because if example is being given, if you feel that you are worthy and you think that you are very confident and everything is great, but you constantly keep attracting people to prove otherwise to you, if you're constantly attracting situation where there's not enough money, people don't treat you right, you lack respect, all that stuff, then the music and the words don't go together. And the best way to find out what the subconscious belief system is to look at reoccurring circumstances over a period of time and look at the patterns, and the pattern will be very significant with respect to what is the underlying emotion. Okay, and the word lack comes up over and over and over. He's asking me to pull a few additional cards, which he's never asked me to do this before, in addition to the cards that I have for the second part of the reading. So let me just get here. I've never shuffled on camera because it takes too much time and you guys will be bored and decide what's the difference, right? The message either applies or it doesn't apply. What do they need to know for the month of December? So what I'm hearing is be yourself. The card that came up is 3 of Wands in reverse. This is telling me that you feel you are not valued. What did we just talk about? Huge. So if you decide to listen to the second part of this reading, it goes into detail about what you need to focus on and what your major lesson is here, or lessons. So if you are desiring more validation from other people, if you feel you are not respected, if you feel that you are being treated unfairly, it's time to look at your belief system. It's hugely, hugely important. What else do they need to know? Okay. 4 of Cups. What this is telling me, I don't know what the traditional meaning of this card is, but what this is telling me is that, well, first of all, it says here, opportunity beckons. When you finally start to realize what makes you tick, when you start to realize why you are the way you are, and consequently why you attract what you do, you will then have a light bulb moment, or the light bulb moment will make you go, oh my God, I finally understand. When you get to that place, emotionally, you will feel completely different. You see this person here? Here's the number 8, the infinity sign. That's all about abundance. I mean, there's more than to it than that, but it's abundance at its core. There's the moon here. The man is not looking at it, but he's facing it. And although this is not a moon card, I'm being asked to say that this person is not afraid to look at his dark side, at his dark emotional side. Now, when I say dark, I don't mean negative. dark sides are aspects of us that we choose not to acknowledge or we choose not to deal with because it's typically things that we don't like about ourselves. As you can see here, the night is very bright and there is stars in the sky and the sky is very clear. And what this is telling me is that when you finally realize what makes you tick, your thought will begin to align with your new realization. That in turn will allow you to feel much clearer in your mind. And what's interesting is here that we talked about before, Page of Swords and Knight of Swords. And that's an individual whose mind is very scattered. He is very intellectual, but his mind is very scattered. When your mind is very scattered, you will have a tendency to want to control it, or you will have a tendency to want to be controlling. And if it happens that you do not feel in control, it'll give you an anxiety. So everything starts with the mind. The mind is the vehicle to everything. So this is basically saying, look at your within to discover what's without. And the message here is, when you finally start to do that, you will feel differently, and therefore you will attract opportunities accordingly. I'm going to take one more card. What else do they need to know? Oops. Oh boy. Okay. 3 cards fell out. 2 of them are major arcanas. So you have the Star card, the heel. You have 11, which is Justice. And you have 9 of Swords in reverse. Okay? So I asked what the additional message for you was. If you feel slightly off in the month of December, if your thoughts are in a way, or if you feel like you are spent, if you feel like you are done, if you feel like you can't do it anymore, that is actually the perfect opportunity for you to release whatever it is that you are holding as far as an anchor. This is about, well, this card says release. This is about justice. This is about fairness. This is about, it is about law. So there's a component of justification or justice. So if you are in a legal battle or legal situation, the message here is release that what no longer serves you, and that will allow you to feel free. It is also about seeing the truth. So when you're in this state of complete muck in your mind, your thoughts, this is when you have to say, okay, what is it that I need to release in order for me not to feel this way? And this is what will allow this to happen. This is Star. So, sorry, not Star. Yeah, Star. That's rebirth. That's hope. That's arrival. Rebirth. That's what I want to say. It's revelation. When you detach yourself of things that no longer serve you, when you let go of those anchors, which are predominantly in our subconscious mind, you will then allow yourself to heal and break the chains that have been holding you back. The other message I'm hearing is take better care of yourself, meaning your body. So for those of you who are hard on your bodies and for various reasons, the message here is don't procrastinate, take care of your body. Okay? For some of you, there is either a problem with an ankle or just watch where you're walking, because I'm seeing there might be a bit of a problem with somebody's ankle. Shoes, what about shoes? I'm seeing somebody's shoes. It looks like female shoes. And there's a zipper in the back. It looks like it's a bootie, like it's a short boot. But there's a zipper in the back. I feel like the zipper is getting caught in something, or it's going to break. So obviously this is not for men unless you guys have shoes with zipper in the back. And when I mean in the back, I mean the heel part. But for you ladies, if you have little shoes like that with a zipper in the back, don't be surprised if one of them's failed to function, okay? And I think that's all I have for this part. If you would like to know the second part of this reading, that information is down below. And it is about finances. It's about It's about learning the aspect of your thoughts and ambitions and all that. So if you're interested in that much information, you can go ahead and view for yourself. But thank you so much for watching, for liking, for sharing. And if this makes sense to you, wonderful. If it doesn't, listen to it at the end of the month, because typically that's what happens. It makes more sense there. And thank you so much for watching. If you wish to have a private session with me, of course, that information is also down below. I wish you a wonderful holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I look forward to seeing you soon again. Take care. Bye.